Alright guys, see I still have the case split from last video. Basically what I'm going to do now is measure the oil clearance in the bearings. Here's the top case bearings right here for the crank. There's 5 of them and there's 5 on the lower. And there's also 2 sets in each rod, top and bottom in each rod. But what I'm going to do right now is just measure the oil clearance in the crank. Those are good. I'm not going to measure the rods because they don't make these bolts anymore, and if you disconnect them, I don't know what I'm going to do. We're going to have to figure out some other way to get those bolts because they're like stretch to yield bolts. So if you loosen them up, take them off, you have to replace them. You can't reuse them. So I know they're pretty hard. If not, they're expensive. They're like probably $10-13 per bolt. But the crank's good. I'm pretty sure the rods are good. If the cranks are bad, I'm gonna have to check them. Anyways, might as well replace them and then figure out some new bolts for them. But yeah, I went to the store the other day, got some supplies, got some purple powder to clean the case because it's super dirty, some rags, aircraft remover paint because, like I said, I'm going to paint the case. I got some plastic gauge. That's how you're going to measure the oil clearance of the bearings. The one you have to use, this came in a set of 3 or whatever, but you only need the green one, the SPG-1. That's the only one I'm gonna use. I also got some assembly lube right here for when I put the new studs in, because like I said, I'm gonna replace the studs. But yeah, that's pretty much the last step I'm gonna do. Was I just want to make sure those bearings are good. If not, I'm gonna have to order them, and I want to order everything for this engine at once, and then, you know, put it all together. But before I do that, I want to paint the case, and what I'm going to do is loosen up the studs, leave them in, strip it, paint it, and put the, you know, everything on the bottom and back together, put the new studs on, and then start working on the top end. Top end, all I have to do is I'm going to take the head and the cylinders to the machine shop. I had to get these 3 bolts out of the exhaust ports. I'm going to do a little port job, you know, make sure everything's good in the head, make sure the cylinders are good, and that's pretty much all I'm going to do for that. Obviously, I might get new pistons. If not pistons, get rings, get new studs, like I said, get new valves. That's pretty much, I think I got everything else already for the rebuild. So I mean, it's not a bunch of stuff, but I mean, you know, it's quite a few things I'm gonna have to purchase. But that's where I'm at right now. Next video, I'll show you how to use a plastic gauge, how to measure these bolts, and actually how to find out what type of bearing there is, because there's a couple different types. There's a couple colors. They come in colors. You can see right here. There's yellow, green, brown, and black. I believe that's the only colors for the bearings, and the only way to figure out which ones is what, because they're not stamped on the back of them, so you can be like, oh, that's that one. It's a bunch of numbers on the case and on the crank and on the rods that you have to write down and figure out, you know, match them up, and they tell you exactly which ones they are with the table that I just showed you. So next, basically right now is I'll show you how to do that, and how to check the oil current. So that's where I'm at. Alright, now to figure out what bearings you're supposed to have. There's 4 sets of numbers and letters that you have to find. There's 1 set on the crankcase. There's 2 on the crankshaft, and 1 set on the connecting rods. So I'll show you. The one on the case is right there. Alright, there you go. You see right there, they're 5Bs. They're kind of hard to tell, but that's what they are. So I wrote down right here, crankcase, 5Bs. Next is the crankshaft. You see here. See, there's J, L, and then there's 5 A's. So I wrote that down. Crankshaft, JL 5A's. And then next you keep spinning. It looks like PL, and then there's 4 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, PL 4 3s. I wrote that right there. And the next is the rods. Here's the rods right here. 2, 2, 2, 2, and then the back of the rods they have letters. It's the weight, like I have H on mine and all of them. But yeah, so that's that. And then I'll be right back and I'll show you how to use the bearing chart to figure out what color it is. Alright, now to figure out which color your bearings are, like I said a minute ago, you got all these numbers I wrote down, letters. And to figure that out is this chart right here. It's in the manual. So let's start to find out what the crankcase is. So crankcase is these top letters right here, and the rods are the numbers. So I mean, mine's pretty easy. They're all B's and all A's, so it's pretty simple. So I go over here to the crankcase, the main bearing little chart right here, and the crankcase number was B and the crankshaft was A. So I go to B and I gotta find an A. So here's B, and I go over to A, and it's green. So, and they're all the same, like I said, because they're all 5 are B's and all 5 are A's. So they're all green. Next is the connecting rods. Here's on the crankshaft, there's 4 3s and 4 2s. So I go to this chart up here. I go to find the connecting rods right here. So I find a 2 and I gotta find a 3. On the crank pin, here's 3 and it's green. So you know, I lucked out. They're all green on both. So and it's left to right. So that's how you find out. So I'm pretty lucky. You know, they're all greens. I've seen some other people, you know, on the forums and everything, you know, they got a couple yellows in there, you know. It's all different, you know. They might have different, but that's how you figure out which ones you need to purchase, which ones you need to buy or replace, or, you know. It's also how you figure out what your oil clearance is. So on my on the bearings for the crankcase, I got green right here. So BA right here, so it's 20 to 41 is my oil clearance that it's supposed to be. So if it's in those numbers, I'm good. I don't have to replace it, you know. And then for the connecting rods, same thing. So 2041. So that's it right now. I'll be right back and I'll show you actually how to figure out those clearance levels with using the plastic gauge. Alright, now we're going to use this plastic gauge right here that I purchased. This is what it looks like. It's a little tubing and plastic gauge. Yeah, so you just break off a piece and put it where the bearings go. You see, I have them on there. Just break off a piece to the width. See it right there. And then you put the top case on, bolt it up a little bit so you can compress it, and then unbolt it, take the top case off, and then you'll be able to measure the oil clearance using the gauges on here. And I'll show you that afterwards. So now I just got to put the top case back on. It might be a little tricky with the rods, obviously, still attached. So yeah, so I'm going to do that, bolt it up on the bottom, and unbolt it, take the top case off, and then check the oil clearance. Alright, I bolted up the bottom once I put the top case on, torqued it down. Now I'm just taking all the bolts off, and then I'll put the engine back down and pull the case up and see what I got. Alright, I took the top case off. I think I forgot to tell you guys before. Before you put the plastic gauge on, you should clean off the surfaces of all the oil so you get a good clean read. So I did that. Obviously, you know, I cleaned the bearings and the top of the case, and then I cleaned the surface of the crank. But so as you can see, I don't know, my phone freaking sucks. You can see, okay, see right there? You can see how the outer is squished. All of them. Yeah, so that's how it works. So now I just have to measure it. And let's see if I can... It's about .050, right around there. So, and like I said, the oil clearance is, they say it's 0.02 to 0.41 is what it should be. You know, I can maybe get away with a little more than that, but I'm at like 0.050 or 0.49. So I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to replace them. So I mean, it's no big deal. But I'm gonna replace those. I might as well replace the rod bearings as well. You know, at least I know I'll have to get the color green, so that's good. For the bearings, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So I know I at least need to order some new bearings. Might as well, if I'm gonna rebuild this engine anyways, I might as well just do that as well. You know, so this thing is gonna be tip-top shape. And then I just have to find these stupid bolts, because they're obsolete right now for the rods. I know. I've also read I can use maybe a different, different model, the F model, or the F. I forget which one it is, but I read somewhere that you can maybe use those. But I'm gonna do more research on those as well, and then I'm gonna start ordering some parts. I've been really busy the past week, and I'll be busy for the next month. So I've been putting in like 50 hours plus in my job. It's like the crunch time. It's busy time. But I want to get at least this engine done by September, early October, because I want to paint the case, and I can't paint it when it's cold out. So, but that's where I'm at right now. Hopefully you guys now know how to use the plastic gauge, and check your oil clearances on the bearings. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Thanks for watching the video. Feel free to subscribe, comment, and talk to you later.